Well, today is the day. We're about to do the final cold start in my straight piped 700 horsepower full bolt-on Nissan GTR. We are parting out my car. There's gonna be so many modifications now up for sale. Check out the description for that. But this video is gonna be an accumulation of a few days of putting this car back to stock, so definitely stay tuned. Which, unfortunately, the car won't be staying tuned. Valve off. Oh my gosh, they sound so good. The GTR straight pipe is one of the best sounding cars out there. And they are so fast. So with the last accelerations out of the way with the full bolt-on GTR, it is time to get the downpipes and midpipe all back to stock. So let's get right to it. All right, downpipes are off. Big shout out to my buddy Shay. Thank you for all that hard work. We did this, Mike and I, with a bay. You cannot do this on jack stands, so that would be a nightmare, but with an expert like Shay, that made it a lot easier. Now let's do the first startup with a stock downpipe and midpipe setup. Oh my gosh. You literally can't even hear the car. That is valve closed. That is crazy. Now we do have the valve. Let's see if it still is a little bit more noisy. Let's hear that. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so we're gonna play with that part a little bit. But now on to the next part of removing mods. And after a very quiet drive home, it's time to work on the next step, which is gonna be fuel system, stock fuel injectors, removing the flex fuel kit, and then the upper intercooler pipes.
right, 2 hours later, the fuel system is back to stock. We have the stock fuel injectors
the normal fuel line instead of the flex fuel line, and then these upper intercooler pipes are all back to normal. So from here, now that I have the full stock exhaust system, aside from of course the muffler, I'm going to use the Cobb AccessPort, which is also going to be for sale, and basically slowly detune the car. The only mods are a 3-inch air intake system. Now, of course, the AccessPort doesn't affect tuning or anything like that, but I can run the Cobb off-the-shelf Stage 1 Plus map. So we're gonna tune that onto the car right now. That way I can drive the car with 3-inch intakes and stock everything else. So I'm gonna basically slowly detune the car using this until it's all back to stock. All right, so then now in the car, we're gonna take the Cobb and just go ahead and tune the car. We have Stage 1 Plus right here, all 93 octane. And the good thing is when I sell this Cobb AccessPort, all of the tunes on it are gonna be going with it. And I even have Cobb's off-the-shelf Stage 2 map, which they don't even have anymore on their website, which is for mid-pipe and 3-inch air intakes. So this will be sold with all the off-the-shelf maps that I have, which of course includes that Stage 2 and all my Stage 3 maps. So, all right, car's been re-flashed. All right, foot on the brake. Wow, that fired up way quicker when I did the fuel injectors, the 1050cc ones. It took a minute to turn over. All right, so driving the car a little bit, warming everything up. Car feels really good, significantly quieter than what it was this morning, but power's nice and smooth. Still smooth power, she gets up and goes. I haven't done full throttle just yet. But I'm gonna drive the car for a couple days like this and then catch back with you guys in about 2 seconds and go to the next removal. So on to a new day, and now it's time to do these stock wheels. I've been running the Vossen HF5 wheels for like 2 or 3 years now. These have been my favorite, like my dream wheels for the GTR, and they look so good. I love how good this bronze looks on the car, and they are so flush. And this is with a stock tire, so you can run a wider tire on this setup. But oh my gosh, this is gonna be sad to say goodbye. Now before we head out, I'm gonna go ahead and uninstall the transmission tune, at least put that back to stock. So this Cobb does the ECU as well as the TCM. So let's just do that real quick. Revert that to the stock transmission. So we're back home now with these stock wheels on the GTR. It looks interesting, it's not bad. They're just way inside compared to the Vossen HF5s. And then next on the list is swapping the factory air intake back from these 3-inch air intakes. So the intake's all back to stock now. I'm gonna do a new tune, which is gonna be the Cobb Stage 1. That is basically for a bone stock car. So we're gonna just hit that, and like we've seen before, we're just gonna let it do its thing, and then we'll fire it up. All right, so now we are on the simple tune for a bone stock car. All right, next stage is all done. We got basically a stock car aside from the active muffler still on, and we're rocking the stock wheels. So with that said, I'll catch up with you guys on the next segment. On to a new day, a much nicer day now. It is time to work on the axle back muffler portion of the GTR. So here is the stock system. It's been over 4 years since that's been on the car. And now it's time to take off the active muffler. All right, we are complete. The car, as far as performance parts and aesthetics, is back to 100% stock. Aside from the lowering springs and the fuel pumps, I think I'm just gonna leave those on mainly because fuel pumps are only like 300 bucks, and I gotta stick my whole arm in the gas tank again to get them out. All that for maybe 100 bucks in the used market. Lowering springs, same sort of deal. They're really not all too expensive, and it's a lot of work to swap them over. So I think I'll just go ahead and leave those on the car. Aside from those two pieces, we are stock. Got the AAM active exhaust system, which is all sold. Now the last thing is to flash the car back to the factory ECU tune. So we're just gonna scroll down to uninstall like we did on the TCM. And now we're just gonna hit OK and let the car go back to the factory ECU data. All right, there is the final ECU tune. All right, here we go. Well, after all that work, the GTR is bone stock now. All those modifications over 5 years is all over now. So let's take a quick look at the car stock. I will say, it looks a little funny with the chrome tips now, but not too bad. Even with the lowering springs, it doesn't look too bad with the stock wheels on it. It's not horrible. And then if we go around to the other side, we have all the performance parts that I've taken off of this car. It's been a really fun 5 years modifying this car, just turning it into my dream GTR. So we have the AAM 3-inch air intakes right there, the AAM active exhaust system, and then we have our flex fuel kit with the gauge, 1050cc fuel injectors, those nice titanium tips. Now we have the Armytrix midpipe and Armytrix downpipes. And then these are the AAM upper intercooler pipes with the tile recirculation valves, and I even had the bottoms for vent to atmosphere if you do speed density tuning. So you have both of those. Then for the Vossen wheels, we have all the lug nuts, the different center caps, and then these sweet satin bronze wheels. So we got 20 by 11s and 20 by 10s, plus 5 offset for back, plus 25 up in front. And they are super nice and flush. And I've been running these stock tires. And you can also, of course, run wider ones, and you're still gonna get a nice flush fitment. But down in the description, you're gonna see everything listed for sale. Full exhaust is already gone, but the rest of the stuff you saw me take off is all up for grabs on the GTR. But there you guys go, putting my Nissan GTR 100% back to stock. Never really thought this day would come. It's been such a fun road just modifying this car and turning it into my dream project. R35 was a dream car when I was in freshman year of high school. That was about in 2009. And 10 years later, roughly, I bought this car. And 5 years later, here we are about to say goodbye. But that is it then for today's video, parting out the Nissan GTR. Check the description, email me, send me a message on Instagram if you're interested in any of these parts for your own R35. The Cobb AccessPort is, of course, still up for sale. Do not remember to put it in the photo, but that is for sale as well. Particularly if you have a 2014, it should work perfectly with all the off-the-shelf tunes. Any other year than that, I can't guarantee anything. However, 2014 owners got a lot of tunes for you, which is pretty sweet. But there you guys go, stock GTR. The listing is live down below now that it's fully stocked, so be sure to check that out if you're interested in the R35. That is it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.